I have stories for both. The first was a hookup, amazing kisser, sinful dirty talker, expert hands, smallest penis I'd ever seen. Honestly, I didn't care all that much because he was so sensual. I was turned on enough that it didn't matter in the slightest. If you're lacking in the packing, don't count yourself out. Fine-tune your skills and you'll find that you can still leave most ladies satisfied. The second is a fuck buddy I had for a while. He was capital H huge. It did feel good, but in a grit your teeth and bear through most of it kind of way. I picked his to share because much like story number 1, he was more than just his donger. And good thing too, both of us were high libido and it just wasn't possible for me to go round after round with him. Lots of foreplay and mid-play and aftercare as well. I have had sex with other guys who were large, and a lot of them tend to think that growing a big dick was all they had to do, and it's just not the case. My biggest piece of advice to anyone with any sized wiener is to be confident, not arrogant, and to use everything you have. Not just your donger. Both of these men were vastly different in the briefs, and both did exceptionally well to make the experience enjoyable for not only themselves but for me as well. Have been with a couple larger guys and it is enjoyable in most positions, but every now and then it really hurts. Especially when you're in doggy and they're super deep and just pounding away at your cervix. Like, not enough for me to stop them because it still mostly feels good, but enough for me to bleed the next day. I've also been with a couple smaller dudes, and I've got to say, if they know that they're doing, aka lay down on your stomach with your legs stretched out behind you, closed, or you on top, it can definitely still be super pleasurable. But when you say small, are you talking micropenis small? Because TBH, they'll just have to know how to strengthen other aspects. Guy here with a large dick, I know everyone says that, cut me some slack, it's okay. I can't say what it would be like to have a small penis, but sometimes I'll be doing the do, and she'll cry out in pain and sex is over. Slammed that cervix, and that's an instant 3 strikes I'm out kinda deal. I've had a girl straight up dump me after this happened because, and I quote, "that was the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life and I never want to see you again." Skeptical smiley face. Overall I'd rate the experience 7.5/10. There's better things in life to desire than a long slong, like ice cream or puppies, especially puppies. Every vagina is not capable of handling a 9-inch dick. If anyone reading this experiences pain with a larger penis, please don't assume it's the norm and that you're more than able to handle it, and that's how everyone experiences it. I couldn't figure out why sex could be so painful with larger men, or why a run-of-the-mill pelvic exam would bring tears to my eyes. At the ripe old age of 26, I finally found a decent gyno who informed me I have an abnormally short and narrow vaginal canal. She now only uses the smallest speculum, normally used for child assault victims apparently. So no, my vagina is not more than able to accommodate a 9-inch penis, no matter how aroused I get. Every vagina is not capable of handling a 9-inch dick. If anyone reading this experiences pain with a larger penis, please don't assume it's the norm and that you're more than able to handle it, and that's how everyone experiences it. I couldn't figure out why sex could be so painful with larger men, or why a run-of-the-mill pelvic exam would bring tears to my eyes. At the ripe old age of 26, I finally found a decent gyno who informed me I have an abnormally short and narrow vaginal canal. She now only uses the smallest speculum normally used for child assault victims apparently. So no, my vagina is not more than able to accommodate a 9-inch penis, no matter how aroused I get. Tried to have sex with a guy once, but whatever was going on down there was an abomination. It was maybe 3 inches and looked like skin had been lit on fire and then melted. Very thick, like Coke can thick, but seriously looked like the stump of a tree. It just wasn't workable. I made an excuse and left. Most guys I've been with have been on the larger side, not sure how that worked out. I'm a small person, 5'1" and about 103, but I can manage a good bit. My ex was 9.5 inches and had a slight downward curve, I think just due to sheer gravity. He came close but never did get completely all the way in. My husband is about 7.5 and has definitely gotten balls deep both sides. Just takes some time and a longer session to get everything nice and relaxed. It is a bit weird to see the head of his dick pushing through my stomach when I'm on my back though. Like something from Alien. A lot of women say hitting their cervix is painful. For me, if I relax and go with it, it feels fantastic. Had sex with someone who was about 2 inches while fully erect and about as big around as my thumb. I thought he would at least be great at oral or know how to use what he had, but sadly no. A 2-pump chump. By the time I asked, "Hey, could we change positions?" he was already done. And the condom slipped off. I've had some bad sex in my life, but that was the most disappointing. Even more disappointing than the guy who shoved my head down to his groin for oral. I honestly don't care about dick size, but if you're not going to even try to find alternative methods to make things work for your partner, I have zero respect for you. I dated a girl who loved having her cervix hit. She liked the pressure of it pushing up in her. My dumb ass thought that was normal, so the next girl I dated I made sure she felt be hit her cervix. She seemed to like it, but after a while she told me to stop because I was hurting her. She was hurting the next couple of days too, and I felt really bad. No, I just kinda do it slowly, and if they like it, cool. If not, I won't beat her cervix to death. So I guess options are cool? Was with a smaller and a larger guy during a phase of exploration in my life. Both were not satisfying. I couldn't feel anything with the smaller guy. It was definitely hard to stay in the mood, especially since he wasn't specially skilled in other areas. That didn't last long, and with the larger guy, I was constantly on edge. If we got too carried away, it would 100% hurt. And he wasn't especially good at reading me or knowing his own intensity. My so is on the larger side now, not gigantic. But we mesh so well together, read each other easily, that it's all very satisfying. My first serious BF, the one with whom I popped my cherry, was like 8 to 9, erect. I confided in a friend about it and she assured me that my BF had the perfect dick, and that I should be grateful. IDK, but honestly, the sex was awful. This guy had the sexual prowess of a Dead Sea slug, and I never achieved orgasm with him. Taking his whole dick hurt like hell, and I avoided sex unless he asked to do it. The second serious BF had what I can honestly call, more or less, a micropenis. And yeah, there obviously wasn't as much vaginal stimulation, but the dude made up for it. He was pretty experienced and we had a lot of fun playing around with our sexual fantasies, using toys, and generally engaging in other kinds of non-PIV sex. I always came with him. The proverbial, "it's not the size, it's what you do it with it," is completely true in my experience. A big dick might be great for some women, especially if the guy knows what he's doing and focuses on getting his partner aroused before penetration. However, some well-endowed men assume that all they need is a big dick and put no effort into foreplay or ensuring that his partner is aroused and having a good time. My dudes, your dick size doesn't matter. More important are hygiene, respect, and making sure your partner is having fun. Gay dude here. I met a fucking buff-ass sexy motherfucker from Texas. I didn't know what he had down there, and I didn't really care because I adored his smile. We got back to my place, and I turned around. He was wearing a string bikini, and what I assume was an 8-year-old anaconda spitting out his waistband looking to kill another soul, and I was like, no Satan. Out of curiosity, I succumbed. I couldn't do anything but act like a milkmaid with both hands. I don't even remember if he shot or not. I was just terrified. My partner is on the abnormally large size. I lovingly call him Dongzilla, and I love it. Unlike many other largely endowed men I have read about, he doesn't think he's a sex god, he actually is mine. He's incredibly giving, spends way more time with foreplay and attention on me than anyone I've ever been with, and has now somehow managed to be oblivious to the greatness he was carrying around, aware of his size, so is careful with me unless I want him to do otherwise. Spending all that time to get me warmed up definitely helps me handle his size. I love how much farther, deeper he can go, hitting my spot and grinding around on my cervix when I'm on top. And it's not just length, but girth. It's big enough for me to feel a pleasurable stretch and feel completely full, but not so much I feel like I'm going to rip in half. I've been on both sides of this. 3x huge dicks, 7+ inches, we never could get it in. Hand jobs and blow jobs also sucked because they all took well over an hour to get off. It just wasn't great at all. Micropenis, yes, an actual micropenis. It was actually just fine, I could feel it, but we could only do cowgirl. First time I ever orgasmed during sex. But that was more because he was a little chunky and it was stimulating my clit. I honestly prefer smaller ones tbh. I've had both experiences actually. The abnormally large experience was horrific. It took about 10 minutes just to get in, and even when it did, it was painful. Tip diameter was about 2 inches while the base was easily double that. Total of about 9 to 10 inches long erect. I often refer it as my traffic cone experience. He told me afterwards that it was obvious that he cared about me because he cares if I bled or not. The abnormally small experience was just so sad. Great guy, but wow. Probably 2 inches in length max when erect, and that's being generous. Width was, well, 1/3 of an inch. Couldn't feel anything when inserted. I've had experience with both, one about 3 inches hard and the other 10 inches. Sex with the larger penis was painful and would cause me to bleed after sex every time. Sex with the smaller penis I could hardly feel even with pillows and different positions. In the end, if I had to choose small versus large, I would always choose small, not only because of the pain, but guys with smaller penises try harder to please you, either by oral, fingering and toys. The only thing that makes small penis guys bad lays is their attitude. Confidence is key. Work with what you got and things will be great. Guys with big dicks learn to be gentle and know that great sex is more than just a dick filling a hole. Please like, comments, share and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Thanks.